Hey, I'm Carlos Garcia, and today we're going into another matchup of my top 25 of 2025 blind tournament, and it's all bourbons. So let's get right into it, because I don't know what's happening today. So nose on A. All right, A on the nose, very sweet, very red fruit, very delicious on the nose. It's a weird thing. Delicious on the nose? That doesn't make any sense in my brain. Red fruit, strawberry, sweet, candy, baking spices, and oak. Great nose. Let's go to B on the nose. All right, so B on the nose takes A sweetness, red fruit, makes it richer and more peanut butter. So rich caramel, oak, strawberry Laffy Taffy, vanilla, rich peanut butter, and red fruit. It was A on steroids. Not gonna lie, big upgrade between those two glasses. Okay, let's go to C. All right, so C on the nose, much darker than the first two. Tobacco, still sweet. Coffee, bubblegum, a lighter nose overall, meaning not as intense in the nostrils, but darker profile. So let's go to D. D, again, is one of those situations where it's not overly complex, but man, freaking phenomenal. I wrote perfect nose. So there's this beautiful rich oak in it that's very intense and just beautiful, with some red Jolly Ranchers sweet red fruit with that. Man, I love that nose. Right, let's go to E. Interesting on E. So I wrote slight a bunch of times. So slight coffee, slight peanut butter, slight bitter oak, slight herbal. The only thing I didn't write slight was oak and darker. So there's a lot of notes there, but they're not super intense, and it's not the best nose, but it is what it is. Let's get into the palates. All right, first sip of the day, but that is your quintessential bourbon right there. Nothing outside of, nothing too crazy. Your oak, your sweetness, vanilla. I wrote quintessential bourbon. It tastes like a higher aged, wonderful bourbon. Nothing wrong with it. On the finish, nutty, oak, sweet. Again, it's the first sip of the day. I don't know if I said that or not, but it is the first sip of the day. So we'll see how it goes on the second sip. But basically, you're right over home plate bourbon. Second sip, kind of, again, sweet, typical notes. I wrote red fruit for the palate, vanilla for the finish. Still basically those generic bourbon notes, but it is delicious. It is phenomenal. Whatever this is, I'm sure is liked by a lot of people, maybe. I'm sure it's expensive because there's not too many cheap things in this whole tournament. It is good. I don't know if it's going to stand up against these other five, but we'll see. It's the first one, so who knows? Yeah, good. Just not complex, but very, very good. If you want to ever tell someone's like, what does a good bourbon taste like? That's that. That tastes like a good bourbon. Okay, let's go to B. All right, B. Delicious. It takes A's quintessential bourbon and adds nuttiness to it. So rich oak, vanilla, strawberry, nutty peanut butter, and on the finish, rich slight funk, nutty oak sweet. Second sip. Before I say too much. Yeah, that's freaking good. Nothing new. It's just a richer experience than A, just overall, with more nuttiness to it. Finish is just so rich and dense. One more sip. Love that finish. So I added vanilla and red fruit to the finish because they weren't there. Overall, I really enjoy B. Again, not super complex. This is a third episode in this tournament that I've recorded. The first couple of videos, it definitely had some that were all over the place. These two seem more like down the middle bourbons, just elevated, but B is even more elevated than A. Okay, let's go C. All right, C, it reminds me a lot of A. To the point where I'm like, did my wife pour the same thing in both glasses? The notes are exactly the same I wrote for A, just in a different order. Oak, vanilla, red fruit, quintessential bourbon, sweet. On the finish, it did change a little bit. Red fruit, vanilla, sweet, which is all the same. But I got some green Jolly Rancher pear note on the lingering, like towards the end of the finish. But man, C and A are crazy similar. That's definitely something I'm gonna A-B against each other. Get a second sip. So the only thing I wrote was seems more vibrant on the palate. And that's just me thinking in my head comparing it to A because they are so similar. C seems a little bit like a step ahead of A. It's not on the quite level of B, but I think it's a step above A. But definitely something to look into for more research later on. One more sip. See if I get any more notes. Third sip on C, I got a little bit more spice on the palate. A darker note started showing up on the finish, which I couldn't figure out exactly what it was. We kind of gave it a little bit more complexity. It was a good note, nothing wrong with it. Just I couldn't figure out what it was. All right. So I like C too. So far, none of them have been blowing my mind. So let's go to D, see what you can do. All right, D on the first sip, very intense, slight marker note though. Oak, char, vanilla, spice, red fruit, sweet, great palate. Hopefully that slight marker note kind of goes away after the next couple sips. Usually when I get the slight marker note, or marker note in general, if it's not too strong, it kind of goes away after a couple sips. We'll see. On the finish, sweet oak, red Jolly Rancher, red fruit, watermelon question mark? Gotta have fun with this. Vanilla. Kind of on the linger is still like the watermelon-y candy note, like a pink Jolly Rancher. All right, second sip. All right, second sip. I got a little bit of cinnamon toast on the finish. The overall, very intense profile. It's attacking my palate in a good way. I don't want you to think it's in a bad way or anything. There's a little cinnamon toast note is there again on the finish. I did get some red Jolly Rancher and apples on the palate this time. Overall, very complex and delicious. I don't know if it's as rich as B, but it is very, very, very good. Okay, so let's go to E. Man, so all 5 of these, and I do this all the time. I go to the first sip and I want to talk about the whole thing again. Let me just cover E and I'll talk about all of them. There's a common theme here today. Okay, so on the palate, oak, vanilla, nutty, rich, cherry, red fruit, intense, strawberry. On the finish, excuse me, oak, vanilla, sweet, cinnamon. Do you know what the theme is today? Is it high-aged bourbons? Because that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling a lot of oak today and a lot of oak vanillas. Okay, second sip. No new notes, so let's just go right into the third sip. All right, some more red fruit on the finish, but overall, it's kind of stayed the same all 3 sips. Nothing wrong with that. It was good right off the first sip. Like I was saying before, I think these are all higher age-stated bourbons because there's a lot of oak vanillas on this. None of them were bitterly oak, like over oaked, which I would think none of those types of bottles would have made this top 25 list anyways. They're all very good. These are all gonna, like, I'm just thinking like the scoring is gonna be like multiple decimal points, I think, on this one. So the A being is gonna be very critical to this because I enjoy them all, you know, especially B, C, and D. So I'm gonna get some water, take a little pause, and get right back into this and see what happens. All right, just kill the bottle of water. Got another one for the rest of this. But so we start with A, let's start with C this time. All right, so C on the palate, got a little more savory green Jolly Rancher, which I had on the finish on C. Now I'm getting on the palate, and a little bit more cinnamon spice on the finish. So overall, I got a little bit better, a little bit more complex. So let's start off the floor here, apparently, at a 4. That is very good, but I do try to start with the ones I think are going to go in last place. So let's drink some water and go to A. All right, so A, on the palate, way more red Jolly Rancher this time. On the finish, more red fruit, but I still think I like C better. So I'm going to score A 3.9. It's right there. It's delicious. So, okay, now where are we going to go? Maybe we'll go right over to E. Oh, water. Hello. All right, E, fantastic bottle. So it definitely beats out A and C. You got some strawberry cheesecake with whipped cream on it on the palate. Again, the fish isn't the most complex, but it's still good. But that palate is very good, very intense, man. That, I don't know if that's the one I said was attacking the palate, but this one was attacking the palate. So let's score that a 4.25. Again, I could rescore these, but kind of as we're going. So let's go to, what do we got left? D and B. So let's just go D then B. That one is also very good. So the thing here is D and E on the palates are basically neck and neck. Fantastic palates on both of them. D beats E though because of the finish. The finish on D is significantly better than E's. We'll score D a 4.4. Let's see where B goes. Ooh, water, man. B is also very good. The problem here with B versus D and E is it's much more delicate. D and E are intense, bold, in your face. And in the blinds, those are gonna stand out a little bit better. Now, B could be the best bourbon in the world by itself, but when you're comparing it to other things that just give you more flavor more intensely, it kind of goes down a little bit. But what I'm going to do now, because I'm going to score a 4.2 right below E. And what I'll do is go back to E real quick just to kind of confirm that I do like E better than B. All right, I did confirm that. Let's do the giveaway. If you want to enter to win 1 ounce sample of all 5 of these bottles, incredible bourbons. You cannot go wrong with any of these. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment with capital letters 2. So let me just break it to you real quick. I didn't even notice this when I was editing. I have to put this back into a posted video, but let's not do that. And let's do the number 3 top 25. So 3 top 25. All right, so quickly go over. A came in last with a 3.9. C came in 4th with a 4. Funny. B came in 3rd with a 4.2, which is still a very good score. E will go to the second chance bracket with a 4.25. And D moves on to the championship round with a 4.4. Let me know if I messed up today. These were all close enough where I could have pushed like a lower ranking, in my opinion at least, bottle forward. So let me know. Don't do nothing stupid. And if you do, don't get caught. Bye.